Like, Luka, look, you just standing there. Look, watch this again, Luka. He just went right by. Luka, what are you doing?
I'll say there was some effort on that one.
Fouling! Luka, what are you doing? Get back into play, Luka. Luka! You hate me. Luka, come on, bro.
And I'm trying to dive in, put some time in, yeah.
There's literally channels dedicated to low basketball IQ that just like to shred guys like Austin Reeves. I never knew, so somebody pointed me in that direction. I couldn't even watch 5 seconds of it, bro. I lost brain cells just being there. There's some real Bron Glazers that just like to hate on everybody not named LeBron. They're looking really silly right now because, you know, they like to talk trash about me for giving Austin Reeves this obvious what you got to say now, clown? You know, so it's like they always got something to say, man. Get these clowns off of my TV screen. Listen, I will never go back on that channel, not even for 5 seconds.
Are you a Luka fanboy?
I'm a crash out man, and I'm about to crash out with your permission. May I crash out?
Go ahead, man.
You just kept needling, guy. You just kept needling and pushing and pushing and pushing. You didn't want AR. You didn't want D-Slow. Look at what happened, man. You put Rob in a corner, and he started fighting back. He started crashing out, and look where we're at now. Tomfoolery everywhere. Look to your left.
LeBron
look to your right.
fans.
Look at Luka. You caused them to crash out. Reggie, you're pushing everyone to the edge, man.
I gonna tell you why the beef started with me and Reggie, right? Reggie fucked one of my niggas bitches, right? The locker room went to fuck one of my niggas bitches, right? That's what he fucking did. He fucking disrespected the bitch.
Austin Reeves. Foul baiter.
First time in a long time.
Austin Reeves. Foul baiter.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, folks. We are back, man. We are back, folks. We got to keep the conversation rolling tonight, folks. I want to talk a little bit about Puka tonight, folks. You know, you guys see the title of the show, folks. It's now or never for Puka. Okay? It's now or never. So yeah, that's really what I want to discuss today, folks. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to LA Ballin'. We got Pacey, A-Hall. What's going on, man? We got the big dog, Steph Curry, BJ, the Tethernator. What's going on, man? We got Capo, Leslie. You said Luka's 27 years old. He still has time? No, he doesn't. And that's what we're here to discuss. Shout out to Hero for Hire. We got St. Matthew. What's going on, man? We got BF Investments. Armani, what up? Shout out to Eric. We got Malik. What's going on, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about Puka, man. I want to talk about Puka a little bit. Now, obviously, folks, you know, the Lakers traded for Puka last year. Okay? Now, you know, the Lakers were the 3rd seed last year thanks to the greatness of LeBron James, right? LeBron James was 6th in MVP voting at 40, 2nd team All-NBA, an All-Star, our most consistent player throughout the entire year. You know, AD had missed time. You know, then we traded AD for Luka. Luka missed time. LeBron was our rock last year. Because of LeBron, folks, the Lakers were able to secure the 3rd seed, had 50 wins last year, and, you know, obviously, you know, the season, it ended in flames, folks, with the Fakers getting clapped up in 5 games versus Minnesota, okay? Now, you guys, going into that series, you guys picked the Fakers to win, and the majority of you guys picked the Fakers because you guys said that Puka Luka is a playoff killer, right? You guys were confident because Puka had beaten Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, the year prior in 2024. So you guys were confident. Then we get to the playoffs. Puka gets his ass beat by Anthony Edwards. So now you guys start coming with your excuses, right? Now all of a sudden you guys need a center. Now all of a sudden, you know, the team isn't built around Luka. We got to build the team around Luka, right? That's when all the excuses came, is once he got his ass beat. Prior to him getting his ass beat, there were no excuses. Then he gets his ass beat. Now you people have 1,000 excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Pelinka over the summer got you a former Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart. He got you a center, a former number 1 overall pick in DeAndre Ayton. Got you Jake LaRavia. And at the trade deadline, got you Luke Kennard, who is the best three-point shooter in the NBA this season. So everything that you guys claimed you didn't have last year, you now have this year, right? So my question to the audience tonight, and I still have yet to really get a really good answer, is what more does Puka need? That would be my first question, in all honesty. Shout out to Big Dallas. We got Cop Killer. What's going on, man? We got Conscious Black. You said, I'm sick of the LeBron disrespect. Shout out to Pacey. Shout out to Mr. Player Made. We got DeAndre Gaines. What's going on, man? We got Malik Williams. You said Luka is going to get exposed in the playoffs. We got Armelito. What's going on, man? Folks, I'm asking a serious question here. I need answers tonight. I got time tonight, folks. I'll wait. You know, I'll wait, man. Listen, it's just me and y'all tonight. I ain't got nothing to do. It's a Tuesday night. I'm chilling. So I need answers from all the Puka fans, folks. I do. I need answers to the questions that I have tonight. My first question is, what more does Puka need? We got Roland. What's going on, man? Chat, take your time, man. Take your time. I'll wait. We can even get the phone lines open. You know, we can even get the phone lines open. I'll sit here and wait. Shout out to King J. What's going on, man? Folks, I'm asking you guys a serious question. Talk to me, chat. I'm asking you guys a serious question. Seriously. What more does he need? And I'm really asking the Puka fans. Because according to them, he always needs something. It's like we go to the restaurant, he orders his food. You know, the waiter brings out the entree. And you got the Puka fans in the booth with him. And they're always calling for the waiter, talking about he needs something else. It's like, dude, I done brought you everything, gang. I done brought you your drink. You got your fork, your napkins. I done brought you your salad dressing. Like, what more do you need from me? This is what I'm trying to figure out. What more does he need, bro? I've been asking this question for a little bit over a week now. Going on 2 weeks. I still can't get a logical answer. You want to know why, folks? You want to know why? Because they gave him everything he needs. They gave it to him. They gave it to him. That's why I can't get a good answer. Shout out to the Dudiverse. What's going on, man? I'm going to ask this question for the final time. And if I don't get a good answer, folks, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that he's gotten everything that he needs. That's what I'm going to go ahead and assume. He's gotten everything that he needs, folks. Who is this?
Mr. Button Masher.
What do you got, dude?
I'm gonna tell you why right now the Lakers aren't going to win the championship.
No. I'm asking a question right now, though.
Okay, what's your question? Your
What
question is
more-
Luka has. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to answer that question. You're asking what more does he need, right? You're asking what more does Luka need, right? That's the question. The reason why Luka and the Lakers will not win the championship this year is because the Lakers have no bench. You're expecting. They paid all that money. They brought all the people in. The Lakers ranked 29th in bench points. You're paying 15 to 20 mil per player. That's averaging 8 points per game. The Lakers ranked 29th in bench points. Let me reframe that again. 29th. All your points are coming from the starting five. Name a championship team ever in the history of basketball that won a championship with just their starters scoring. You can't, because it's never happened. The Lakers have the worst bench. They are ranked 29th in the league right now, okay? Without a bench, 7-game series with anybody and everybody, they will lose. So if you're asking yourself, what more do they need? They need those players on the bench to step it up, because let me tell you why JJ Redick is such a poor coach. And I'm telling you, just for the, your mayonnaise media, like you said, they boost up Austin Reeves, right? Austin Reeves should be coming off the bench. Marcus Smart, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, DeAndre Ayton, and Rui Hachimura should be in starting five. Off your bench, it should be Kennard, it should be Vandy, it should be who else they got? Austin. It should be Jackson Hayes, and I don't care who else you put at the five. It doesn't matter. That needs to be a bench, because once LeBron, Ayton, or anybody goes off the bench, there is no scoring coming off the bench. None whatsoever. Like I just said, never in any time in history has a starting five been your main scoring position and you won a championship. So if you're asking once again, what more does he need? He needs those players on the bench to wake the fuck up, be paid for whatever they're being paid for, and play the game. There's no reason in hell why the Lakers have the worst bench in basketball right now. So, like I said, the reason why they won't win, what more does Luka need? Luka needs those players on the bench to pick up the game. Luka needs JJ Redick to be a coach and see that. I don't understand how this coach that the Lakers brought in, who played in the game, one, went to Duke, two, coached by the GOAT, Coach K, three, doesn't see that if you don't bring a scoring punch off the bench, you're not going to win. Let's talk about the teams that have a bench. OKC, they bench in the last game, scored 60 fucking points. Their bench scored 60 fucking points. Boston has a bench. The Spurs have a bench. Denver has a bench. Those are the championship caliber teams right now. Boston, OKC, Denver, and San Antonio. All of them have a bench that comes off and produces. Lakers have no bench. You've seen in the last games, out of every game, the Lakers can't score. You got JJ Redick averaging 15 mil per year, scoring 8 points per game. Motherfucker, I could get in the game right now as of today and at least score 5. At least give you 5 points. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. We got Jay. Shout out to Jay with the $10 super chat.
Hey, I fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy.
LeBron fans.
He says Puka has no excuses. He's got 2 first-round picks, Ayton and Bron, a defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, a sniper shooter in Kennard. Get it done. Okay, let me ask you a question. And shout out to Jay. Appreciate you, man. Where are you getting this statistic from that the Lakers are the one of the bottom team in bench scoring? Where'd you get that from?
I got that from NBA.com. You could look it up right now. You could look it up anywhere. You could pull up any stat, and you will see they are 29th in the league. That's not going to work, bro, in a 7-game series against any playoff team. And I don't even have to. You watch the games. We watch the games. What scorer on the bench comes off and gives you buckets? Name them. Jake, name a score that's averaging double-digit points off the bench. There's not one of them. Not one player on the bench, on the Lakers bench, averages double digits in any statistic: assists, rebounds, and especially points. There is no way in fucking high heaven or hell that the Lakers are going to win with just starting five producing points. It's not going to happen. It's never happened in any sport, in any franchise, in any time that the starting five is your most productive, give you all the points, and you win a championship. Why do you think, Coach? Let me give you an example of a great bench that always had that had the dynasty. Manu Ginobili was a fucking star in Argentina. He came to the league and went straight to the bench, and every time he came off the bench, he was on fire. Coach Popovich saw that.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. Ask me.
Do you know who leads the league in bench scoring?
Who? No, I don't know who leads the league in bench score, but I can tell you one thing: it ain't one of the fucking Lakers. I could definitely tell you that.
So once again,
I could definitely tell you that.
So wherever you got this stat from, can you access that right now?
No, I don't have the ability to access right now, but you do. I mean, this is your show. You can pull it up.
No,
you can pull it up, my friend.
I have it pulled up on StatMuse.
Okay, so what are they saying?
Okay, let me show you my phone. Actually, let me double check and real quick make sure I don't got no crazy tabs open. Jesus Christ, give me 1 second.
Hey man, you gotta stop messing with them hubs, man. Stop messing with them hubs, bro, and them Instagram thoughts, bro. I know them white girls be giving it up, bro. But hey man, trust me, I know. But yeah, like I said, the Lakers ain't got no bench, bro.
Shut your bitch ass up.
You know that, I know that.
Okay, let me show you, since you probably can't see the I'm gonna just show you on my phone. So yeah, I have it put up on StatMuse.
Okay.
It says the Grizzlies lead the league in bench scoring.
What does that have to do anything with the Lakers?
Oh well, I'm just showing you because.
Okay.
So like.
Okay.
Number one is the Grizzlies.
Where are the Lakers at?
Number 2 is the Wizards. And then I'm assuming that you're...
Yeah, keep looking.
Yeah,
keep looking.
No. I'm assuming you're correct on what you're saying because the Lakers aren't on the list.
Exactly.
And
so, like I said...
I would have to pay to see the last 5 teams. So, let's just
Exactly. So, there's no need. There's no need.
No. You're right.
We both know that.
No. I'm telling you, you're right. So you're correct. You're probably correct on, I don't know where you said they ranked 29th, you said?
29th.
Okay, 29th. But my retort to that would be, and I don't completely even disagree with you, but I mean the Grizzlies lead the league in bench scoring, and they're not even in the play-in tournament. They're not in a playoff picture at all.
Okay.
So what is your
But
argument?
I'm asking you, my argument is you're asking what more does Luka need? I'm telling you he needs the bench to wake up.
I get that part.
Okay.
But to me, this argument doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because if the Grizzlies and the Wizards, who are 2 teams that are going to be fighting for a number 1 overall pick, lead the league in bench scoring, then I don't know if bench scoring is as important as you might think it is.
Okay, Reggie, man, don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult your own intelligence, Reggie. Reggie, what are we talking about, Reggie? You've been watching basketball for I don't know how long. When have you ever seen an NBA team with their starting 5 being their only offense win a championship? I will wait.
Well, I'm glad you bring that point up because this kind of goes back to Luka, and I don't know if I've ever seen a player win a championship with his style of play and his usage. So you're trying to blame the bench, and you're trying to say, well, the bench isn't scoring, but I don't know if you're watching the games. It's hard for guys to get into a rhythm playing alongside Luka. It's hard for other guys to provide. Hold on, bro. I just let you speak, man.
Go ahead. Cook.
Can I go?
Cook.
Okay. So, in my opinion, and this is why I want to do this show specifically on Luka. I've never seen you're talking about we've never seen a team win a championship with no bench scoring. I've never seen a team win a championship where their best player has this high of a usage.
I can agree with that. I can totally agree with that.
So to me, while I don't all the way fully disagree with your premise about the bench scoring, I think that has more so to do with Luka than it does the players on the bench.
I would say maybe, but at the same time, I'm not sitting here saying that Luka's style of play is going to win them a championship, because I totally agree with you. The ball needs to be passed around for everybody to get their feel, to get hot. I'm just letting you know that even if Luka was to pass the ball, I still think that they couldn't win. Even if his usage rate dropped down, even if the playoffs came and his usage rate dropped down, I still don't think that they could win because they don't have a bench. So I agree with you as well. I don't think they could win with a ball hog, because that's what he is, a ball hog. I don't think they could win with that.
Think about this, though. Think about what you're actually saying. The bench comes in to supplement the starters when they go to the bench, right? So it's the starters that set the tone, and they go on the floor first. They're the first ones on the court, right? Right. So to me, how are we blaming the second unit for the team's failure or their ability to not succeed come postseason time? How can we put that on the second team when it's not their job? Like, there's nobody on the second team that's making the big bucks. It's on the big bucks to get the job done. I can't allow you. Hold on. Time out real quick. I can't allow you to come on the show and start blaming guys that are on vet minimum deals, $3, $5, $6 million mid-level exception deals. I cannot allow you to blame them when we have guys like Luka making $50 million. It's always on the superstar. No matter what. When LeBron was in Cleveland, 2018, we didn't look for Rodney Hood to come save them. Nobody asked JR and Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. We never said, yo, it's on y'all. Y'all got to step up and score. No, that's never how we've analyzed the game. It's always been your superstar. But I've realized when it comes to Luka, y'all, once again, you lower the bar, you lower the expectation, you lower the standard for Luka, and you start blaming other people when that's never been what we've done.
Bro, I am just telling you from my perspective. I am not lowering no fucking bar. I am just telling you from my perspective why the Lakers won't win a championship. Okay, even if Luka became this ultimate passer, as you want him to be, because that's what you want him to be. You want him to be a passer. You want him to drop his usage. So even if he did drop the usage, okay, they still can't win because their bench is horrible.
So
okay, that's what I am saying.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If we had to rank the reasons why the Lakers won't win, what would be your number one reason?
Luka's ball usage.
Okay, so you just said out of your own mouth.
No, wait, no.
Oh, let
me phrase that.
Now you gonna change it?
Yes, my number one reason is the coach. It's the coach, then Luka's ball usage, then the bench. Because at the end of the day, the coach is the one who's in charge of everything. If the coach is allowing Luka to go out there and be a ball hog, then it's on the fucking coach. It is on nobody else's, because the coach is supposed to run the team. That's why he is the coach. Okay, so if anybody gets to blame, it is JJ Redick, like I said in the beginning.
Stop right there, because we agree. Hold on, give me 1 second. We got the Tethernator. Shout out to you, man, with the $5 super chat.
First time in a long time.
Austin Reeves. Foul baiter.
Hurting deeply inside.
Okay, you said, I don't care if the Fakers had the number 1 bench scoring in the NBA. They still can't win with Puka, dribble, shoot. Now, I actually agree with you that the coach does play an important role, but here's my only pushback to that.
Okay.
We've seen Luka. I mean, at this point, he can low-key be labeled a coach killer. At this point, I mean, he's had a few different coaches, and none of them have ever been able to make it work with him, right? So,
right.
At the end of the day, while I do agree with you, at the same time, we all know in the NBA, this isn't the NFL. In the NBA, your star player runs the whole campaign. He runs the whole ship, right? Luka can get JJ fired. Luka can get JJ fired if he wanted to.
Let me ask you a question then. I'm gonna push back on that, okay? Because like I said, it's the coach. Do you think if Greg Popovich was a coach of the Lakers, they'd be having this problem with Luka? Yes or no?
There's only one Pop though.
Okay, I'm not asking how many Pops there are. I'm asking you, if Pop was the coach of the Lakers, do you think we would be having this problem with Luka dribbling the ball like this? Yes or no?
No, you probably wouldn't. But we
okay,
don't have Pop.
Then that being said, the coach is the one who is supposed to dictate how the team goes. You answered the question. You answered your own question. Like I said, the number one reason.
I agree with you.
Okay, then we're both on the same page.
But my only pushback is if the coach is making $5-10 million and your superstar's making 50, who's got more leverage?
At the end of the day, it's the coach who's supposed to. The coach is still supposed to have the most leverage because he's the fucking coach. If he don't want to get fired, then he needs to put his ass in line. This is what I'm saying. Like, what are we talking about? The coaches are coaches. It doesn't matter if it's LA, New York, fucking the coach is the coach. This is why he gets paid the big bucks.
At the end of the day, it's not on the coach to go win the game. The coach
it's
can't
not
play.
on the coach. You're right, but the coach can't play. But the coach.
Let me say this.
Cook.
At the end of the day, while I do agree with you that a lot of this does fall on JJ, a lot of it falls on Luka as well as the face of the organization, as the number 1 guy, especially when he's making 5 times more, 10 times more than JJ. At the end of the day, Luka could get JJ fired if he wanted to. And then there's going to be another coach that's going to come in and he's going to have to acquiesce to Luka. So it really falls more so. But like I said, it falls more so on Luka to hold himself accountable, right? Because at the end of the day, Ty Lue, right? When Ty Lue was coaching LeBron, yeah, can he call up certain schemes and make certain things, change up certain coverage, whatever? Sure. But at the end of the day, LeBron still got to go be LeBron.
I'm just saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. That, Luka is the way he is. I'm just telling you reasons why they will not win. And it starts with the coach. It then goes to Luka, and then it goes to the bench. That's all I'm saying. I guarantee
I would just flip it around. I would just flip it around, though. I would say Luka would be the number 1. To me, the reason the Lakers won't win, it's going to be because of Luka. And if the Lakers do win, it's going to be because of Luka. But I don't believe they're going to win, and I believe it's going to be because of Luka.
Hey, we could agree to disagree. Okay, that's what that's why we have our opinions. But my personal opinion is, if I was coaching that team, Luka wouldn't be Luka the way he is right now. The same way that fucking JJ Redick pulls DeAndre Ayton off the floor when he has a fucking blunder, the same way JJ should pull fucking Luka off the floor when the ball gets cold and stagnant. This is what I'm saying. He has the power. Now, him not using that power, that's on him. So when he gets fired, he can look in the mirror and say, why was I such a pussy to, let Luka run the show when I'm the coach? That's what I was saying that. But at the end of the fucking day, if you're the coach, you're supposed to rein the team in. That's why you are the person. That's why you're the coach, bro. That's why they brought you in. If JJ Redick is supposed to be this Phil Jackson, Pat Riley player, trust me, Phil Jackson wouldn't allow that shit. Pat Pat Riley wouldn't allow that
Bro,
shit.
you're
Greg
bringing up
Popovich
all
wouldn't allow
time.
that
You're
shit.
bringing up the greatest coaches of all time. You brought up Pop and Phil.
Hey.
Like every coach is not going to do that. They won't have the power to do that.
Well, of course, they all have the power to do that. That's the problem. JJ Redick he has the power. Like I just made an example. The same way he pulls DeAndre Ayton off and benches his ass the minute that he fucks up, he could do that for Luka as well. You have to send a message.
Nobody goes to a game to see DeAndre Ayton.
Listen, are we talking about going to a game to watch players, or are we talking about going to a game to win a championship?
You're not thinking deeper though. You have to think deeper than that. It's a business too at the end of the day, right?
Okay.
So in theory,
it is a business.
Hold on, because in theory, what you're saying makes sense, but in reality, a lot of time that's not going to happen. Like if LeBron is out there fucking up, but everybody comes to see LeBron's going to get more leeway. It's the same thing with Luka. Luka's going to get more leeway than a DeAndre Ayton.
Listen, then if that is the case, then fucking JJ Redick might as well quit now.
Listen, we agree there. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We got Great Lakes with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, I fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy.
LeBron fans.
He said 30 shots a game is a large portion of the total shots. Luka slows down the whole offense and ball movement. He needs to pass it and let Bron run the point. We got 444. What's going on, man? What you got on this topic?
Hey, peace, Reggie. Peace, panel.
What's going on, man?
To the brother that was speaking, who has more power? Is it the people in the front office or the coach?
The people in the front office. At the end of the day, they sign the checks. At the end of the day, they sign the checks. But why are you signing a check? Why are you signing a check for a coach if you're not going to let him coach? If that's the case, the front office need to just come down and fucking run the show. What do you need a coach for?
So that's what it is. The coach acts as a proxy. The front office is actually running the show. And when these coaches get jobs, a lot of times they know what they're signing up for. If we think these coaches have freedom to just coach the way they want, doesn't always happen that way. You're dealing with players who have contracts. For instance, when Darvin Ham was coaching and he pulled Russell off, there was an issue. You know why? Because in Russell's contract, he is required to be on the floor as a starter for a certain amount of time, right? So there's a lot of details that we don't really see when it comes to players. So coaches actually kind of they walk a really tight rope, to be honest. You know what I mean? Very few coaches have the flexibility to be that kind of force that you're talking about, right? The front office calls the shots. When that front office comes down and say, "Hey, put Aston Reeves on that court. We don't care. Look at our revenue. Look how many jerseys we've been selling." You think they care that Aston Reeves is thinking up the game?
If that is your mindset, that the front office is running the game, then why are we even watching the Lakers? Why are we even paying attention to them?
This is what we say on
why
this
do we even care?
This is what we say
I mean,
on this show
if that is the case, why do we even fucking care? We might as well just turn them off because we know they are heading for fucking nowhere.
He's finally getting it. Now he's finally getting it.
Yeah, I get your point there, but that's not what the conversation is about, right? I was listening to you, and you were being very adamant about it starts with the coach, and I'm saying, listen, by all means, I'm not saying JJ Redick is a world beater as a coach. He's a second-year coach. Obviously, he's going to need time to develop and to learn, but let's just be honest. The Lakers don't care about. Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'm listening.
I mean, if he needs time, then it's never going to happen with Luka there. I mean, if he needs time, then if you're saying that he needs time, and at the same time you're saying that the front office runs the show, then it's never going to work. 1 + 1 = 2. That doesn't.
Yeah.
The math ain't mathing with that.
So let me respond to you, right? Let me respond to you. So look at it this way, right? There are certain seasons where a team will tank. If it's a season where a team is going to tank, right? Does it really care what the coach does? When an organization decides that they're going to tank, where does that decision come from?
That decision comes from the upper management.
Exactly, right? And that's
Okay.
what we're trying to share with you is that we're not saying that this is indefinite. What we're talking about is we can only take it season by season. Right now, what it looks like to me is that their goal for this season is to establish Luka and Aston as premier top 2 best backcourt in the NBA, and the Lakers
That
have
shit is
them.
that shit is laughable. Okay, because
Even
the motherfuckers
no,
are
it is
fucking
laughable. No,
cones.
I'm agree.
Them
Listen,
motherfuckers ain't nothing
I'm
but orange cones.
listen. No, I
Okay.
agree with you. But no, I agree with you. But here's the problem, right? When you look at the people in the audience, I couldn't believe they're wearing Aston's jerseys. They got Luka jerseys on and Aston jerseys. The Lakers front office, they see dollars and revenue, and they'll do that to cost, even if it takes to not win a championship for this season. You get what I mean? It's about revenue. It's a
I
business.
I 100% get what you mean, but from a basketball player and a
Okay.
basketball mindset, okay, and a LeBron James fan, I'm not trying to hear all that. Okay,
Agreed.
I'm not trying to hear that
I
we're
agree with
waiting,
you.
we're
I agree.
established in, and we're doing this for fucking. I want to see LeBron go out with a championship. Y'all ask the question, what is the situations and why Luka won't win? Why Lakers won't win. These are my arguments on why the Lakers won't win. They don't have a great coach.
Give me one
Luka holds the
second.
ball too much.
Give me 1 second. We got A Hall. Shout out to you, man. You say just like Jerry Jones, he runs the Cowboys and the coach. And DC Rue, the link is in the chat. Appreciate you, DC Rue. But listen, at the end of the day, like I said, I think we pretty much all agree. We kind of got off topic a little bit because now we're talking about, the business side of it. But I'm talking about Luka tonight, right? So I want to get back to Luka. To me,
Okay.
right? The title of the show, this is Luka. I feel like this is like one of the best chances that he's going to have to win a championship because of the other talent that's emerging, right? Not just in the West, but also out East. A lot of these guys are establishing themselves. Jason Tatum's back. Boston looking like they trying to make a run. The Pistons look like they're going to be here for a while. Obviously, OKC ain't going anywhere. Obviously, the Spurs ain't going anywhere, right? So to me, if we're talking about Luka, I don't see a path 4-4-4 in which you can just exponentially make this team better than what it is right now once LeBron James is done or walks out the door. I don't see it. So I think personally, right, they got him everything that he needs. I just want to know, and I posed the question earlier, what more does he need? I can't really seem to get a clear answer on that because I think they gave him everything that he needed. So now it really just boils down to, can Luka go out there and outplay these guys? Can he go out there and outplay De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, SGA? Or are we going to be here come, late April, early May, blaming role players like it seems like y'all want to do?
I just don't think Luka could do it. I just don't see it. No, I don't see it.
I don't think Luka can do it as well. And I continue to say this. Do not be surprised if Luka is somehow, some way elevated through the help of the league to actually accomplish that. And the reason why I say
Fuck
that,
no. Hell no. Hell no. Luka's gonna get Luka will get another tech or two before the season is over. That's the first thing. So he's going to get suspended. Second thing, in the playoffs, he's definitely going to get another 2 techs because this man bitches like no other. So hell no. Hell no.
no.
So hold on, Mr. Button Masher, and you gotta change this name, dude. This is insane. But let me ask you. So you believe from a basketball perspective, Luka can't get it done. Tell us why.
Because he's a ball hog. Simple as that. The man
So
will
why
come
didn't you
down.
come on the show saying that, and why were you blaming the bench scoring?
Well, you asked, what does he need to get a championship? So my first thing is that the bench would have to step up. For even from to be a ball hog, all right, he still needs production off the bench. Like I said, the bench is last in the league. They give you nothing. You're paying a bunch of bums to sit there and clap their hands. So that's like I said, that's the main thing. The coach not coaching the team, and as I stated, we all sit here and see that they want Austin Reeves on the floor. Austin Reeves needs to come off the bench, and I've always said that from fucking day one.
I agree.
They're never going to win. They're never going to win with Austin Reeves as a start guard. Because right now, what they start in the 3-guard lineup: Marcus Smart, Austin, and Luka.
So,
no wonder they're getting out rebounded. Like, what are we talking about?
I want to say something, right? Here's the thing, Reg. If you notice, Anthony Edwards is out on injury right now
for 2 weeks. 2 weeks he's out
for 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
So he'll be ready for the playoffs, right? When the playoffs start?
In about a month, 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. This might be I'm telling you, this might be a road that the Lakers, and with the help of the refs, I can see the Lakers absolutely, definitely getting to the Western Conference Finals. I mean,
yeah, that's what
I mean. When you got the refs on your side, man, I'm sorry. I mean, some of these calls have been egregious. I'm sorry,
but I don't think that's going to happen in the playoffs, though. I mean, that's what we thought was going to happen last year, and they got fucking spanked because he's too busy looking for fucking calls and bitching with the refs. Like, what are we talking about?
We got Cop Killer.
It's going to happen the same thing.
Give me 1 second. We got Cop
Yo,
Killer.
what up?
Hold on, DC Rue. We got Cop Killer in the chat. He says Laker fanboys are retarded, popping pussy in the regular season against subpar teams. When they get against championship level teams, they are going to get their cheeks clapped. DC Rue, what you got on this, man?
I mean, we've been having this conversation, since last year, weeks. I gave you my prediction a couple of weeks ago. I said the same thing that this gentleman was saying, and I agree with him. What's good, 444? Yeah, when you go and you play in the playoffs, the game is played differently. I mean, there's certain calls in the regular season that you're not going to get. We've seen that with Austin Reeves last year, the year before last year, and so on and so on. So, yeah, I mean, I personally believe that the Lakers don't have what it takes to get to the finals. I've heard your live yesterday, the day before yesterday, and you keep on mentioning you believe that they do. But when I look at the Lakers bench and I look at OKC's bench, it doesn't match up. It's two totally different benches. OKC's bench is going to give me more production than what the Lakers bench is going to give me. The gentleman that just said absolutely, he's 100% right when he's talking about JJ. Last year, when the Lakers played Minnesota and they won one game in the series, right? What happened? JJ Redick, he only played 8 players to a point that you were looking at every game that they lost. LeBron James, he looked like he needed to be carried off in a wheelchair. He was tired. The end of the series, they were burnt out because these players were playing more minutes than they should have been playing. And people were not getting real breaks. So there was a lot of people that were playing in the regular season that should have had played in the playoffs to substitute for those players to get rest. So it's the same thing that's going to happen with JJ. He's not utilizing his lineups, right? Like, we're not seeing Vando.
That's what I said. That's what I said from the beginning.
That's why I agree. That's why I agree with you. We're not seeing Vando. Why we're not seeing Vandy as much as we should see him? We're not seeing him.
No.
So LaRavia is getting his minute. LaRavia is getting actually more minutes than Vando. When Vando had a couple of games this season that he was really good on defense, but when you look at let's say hypothetically speaking, we gotta face OKC. You don't think his presence could be used on the floor against OKC in that series? Of course it can. Or San Antonio? Of course. Like there's Reggie, you had another brother up here that he's a Marine. Not a Marine. He works in the marina. That he says that he's going to be gone and whatever. He was saying it. He was basically saying, why are we not utilizing these players? Why? Like, so it doesn't make sense.
Number one reason why I said is a coach. That's why I said, because the same thing you just said. You will never see a starting five be production of their whole offense win a championship. It's not going to happen.
Oh.
It's not going to happen.
Nah. Once you start getting deep into the playoffs, like I said, these like Austin Reeves, what he likes to do is he'll grab the ball and he'll wait until the defender has his arm out so he can go under the arm and get the call. You're not going to get that in the playoffs. We've seen that last year, the year before last year, and so on and so on. The same thing with Luka. He's not going to be getting those calls. Luka might get away with certain calls that Austin Reeves is not, because obviously Luka's a bigger star in the NBA. But Austin Reeves is not like what Dylan Brooks said, foul baiter. He's not going to be able to get those calls. So, and then these 34 points that he's dropping on the Bulls, he's not gonna do that against OKC. It's like last night when he played Houston. How many points he had? Why? Because he had a great defender on him. Like, he's not going to be able to do that. So, and then what's going to happen is JJ's going to have him in for what? 30 minutes? 32 minutes?
So
then you got two players like Vando.
You got two foul baiters that's going to be looking for calls in the playoffs that's not going to get those calls. And on top of that, you got their coach making like you said, cutting down the rotation so there's eight or nine players playing and they ain't playing and they ain't getting no rest. So you're not getting no rest. You're not getting no production from your bench, and you got two of your biggest players that had the most usage that are foul baiters. That's not going to get the call. There's no way in hell they're probably not even going to get out the first round. If we're being honest, if we're being so for real, they're probably not even going to get out the first round this year as well.
And that's what I told Reg. I told Reg that 8 weeks ago, 10, 12, 16 weeks ago. I told that to Reg. Today I was looking on Face Take, and you got Stephen A. Smith over here talking about, oh yeah, well, conference finals and bro, they just started winning again. They just started getting on a streak and already, and then you can't even count the Bulls because the Bulls is a tanking team. So what are you can't, what
can't count none of the teams.
Bro?
You cannot count none of the teams that they played against off the streak. They played subpar teams. They played teams that don't have their full teams, and it's a fucking regular season. All right, none of that counts.
Let me say this.
None of that counts.
Let me say this. So, I was a little bit intrigued by your bench scoring narrative. So I wanted to see who led the bench scoring in the finals last year. Was it the Pacers or was it the Thunder? So last year in the finals, the Thunder scored 205 points off the bench, and the Pacers scored 291 points off the bench. So the Pacers
we're not going to listen. Listen, we're not going to take those finals into that because if Halliburton doesn't get injured, we know that the Pacers are winning that championship. You know that, I know that. Okay, I'm not even going to say that. Go ahead, continue. Continue.
Hold on. So, like I said, to me, it was a good narrative. I thought you might have had me, but
Reg, it's still a good narrative.
You said what?
I'm sorry to cut you off, Reg, but it's still a good narrative. But go ahead, bro. My fault. Go ahead.
Well, it kind of gets debunked when the Pacers outscored the Thunder last year in bench scoring and still lost.
Okay, Reg, I got. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
Let me ask him, Reg. Do you think if Halliburton doesn't tear his ACL that the OKC win that series? Be honest.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with the bench scoring.
No, but not only that.
Let's the bench scoring.
Let's look at. I have another narrative as well to add to that. So aside from him tearing his ACL, if you guys remember, one of those games were actually taken away from Indiana. A game that Indiana was geared to win the league. Doing what they do, they found a way for OKC to win that game, which brought them to a game 7. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys remember
I
the
remember.
controversy, right?
Yeah, I
It was clear
remember.
as day. They what they were doing, which was egregious. They were allowing Shea to do. They were. I mean, they were giving Shea all these ridiculous foul calls,
All
and
those
it's just
calls.
right. So it goes to my narrative, which I'm saying, do not be surprised if we have a playoff run where we see the whistle not being held for who they're trying to prop up to be an MVP. I'm just letting you know. Then it's Luka Doncic. I'm telling you, I got a feeling they're going to make sure that Luka
Here's my
gets at
thing.
least to the Western Conference Final. Go ahead, Rich.
But back to the bench scoring narrative though. So in the finals last year, I mean, by your logic, so you're basically saying, because you came on the show talking about bench scoring. So by your logic, you think that the team that their bench outscores the other team is going to win, right?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it helps a team. Okay, you have to have some sort of assistance from your bench.
That's what I said.
No team in championship history is going to go with their starters 5, playing majority of the minutes, scoring the most points, is going to win a championship. That's what I'm saying. Okay, you have to have some sort of help.
And that's what I agree. I came on the show, Reg, and I agreed with the brother. I don't know his name, but I agreed with him. I heard the conversation that he was having with you and 444, and I agree with him. Because when you look at last year, because like I said, Reg, you bring, and a lot of your shows, you bring out a lot of points, and they're meaningful. They mean something. And you go back towards last year and the year before that. And last year, when they played Minnesota, JJ Redick was the coach of the Lakers, right? And Luka was on that team, and so was Austin Reeves. But when you look at that bench, he wasn't utilizing. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you had out of your bench you got 2 players that you could really count on. He wasn't really using those 2 players. He was using more. It was more of a 6 or 7 man rotation that he was using the whole entire series. That's why I told you, if you go back and you look at all those games towards the end, all the players, they looked exhausted. They looked like they were playing like 150 game season plus the playoffs. They were exhausted. And they even asked JJ Redick towards the end of the series, they said, why you didn't utilize your bench? And that was a big controversy, because they were like, wait a minute.
But that's 2 different things. Utilizing them and them scoring are 2 different things. So
no, but Reg, we ain't got. But what I'm trying to say, sorry to cut you off. Okay, for example, can you name the starting? Can you name the bench of OKC? And because you said it a couple weeks ago, can you name the bench of the Lakers? You were like Bronny, right? You said Kobe, Buffkin Jr., right? Who else is on there? Timmy's on there, right? You got what? Vando? Okay, and then you got who else you got on there? Jackson Hayes? Is there someone else that I'm missing? Oh, you got what's his name? You got the shooting guard that they don't utilize, right? Which in fact I think they should utilize.
DC Rule. Just listen to this point I'm about to make real quick. Last year in the finals, the Pacers scored 291 points off the bench. The Thunder scored 205. So that means the Pacers outscored the Thunder's bench by 86 points. 86 points. They outscored them.
Okay.
So I looked up the Lakers numbers last year. Last year in the playoffs, the Lakers bench scored 55 points.
That's fucking crazy.
No. Hold on. 55 points off the bench in the first round. Minnesota's bench scored 134. So that's a difference of 79 points.
That's a big difference, bro.
No. Listen. The Pacers outscored the Thunder's bench by 86, and they lost. The Lakers got outscored by 79, and they lost.
But those are a tale of 2 different tapes, my friend. Like I said, one, if they don't get those,
I'm saying though, your argument to me, that's not
valid.
That's not
to
the
you.
reason why the Lakers lost, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's not the
bro.
reason.
Well, obviously it was. Well, obviously It's a part of it, Reg. Reg, it's a part of it. It's a part of it.
It is a part of it. You cannot.
Another part of it.
You cannot disconnect.
It's not the biggest
You
part.
cannot disconnect. It's not maybe not the biggest, but it's a major part, my friend.
No.
You cannot discontinue.
Reg,
you cannot. You can't throw that out. You can't throw that out, bro.
Reg, it's not.
You can't
I'm
throw
not
it
Reg.
out.
I'm not telling you. Reg, I'm not telling you it's 75% of it, and I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. But it is a factor. It's a major factor, and not only that. When you look at the matchups, dude, the Lakers were outmatched.
Okay,
and again, like I
DC
said,
Root, DC Root.
but wait a minute.
So
and I'm talking about Minnesota.
Explain to me then how OKC won when their bench got outscored.
Because Tyrese Halliburton, I'm going to give you the answer right here. Tyrese Halliburton had a torn Achilles. If Tyrese Halliburton doesn't have,
that doesn't
of course
make
it makes
sense.
sense. I'm going to allow me to speak and let me tell you why it makes sense.
Stop for a second. I'm going to tell you why that doesn't make any sense. Because Tyrese Halliburton is a starter. He's got nothing to do with bench scoring. So even if he would have played, his production counts as a starter. So once again,
Reg, are you trying to?
Hold on. OKC got outscored by 86 points. The Pacers bench outscored OKC's bench last year in the finals by 86 points. The Lakers bench only got outscored by 79, but OKC won while the Lakers lost. So if you can tell us the reason why we lost is because of bench scoring, then explain to us how OKC won when they got outscored by their bench.
Because if you cut the head off of the snake, you're going to go down. And that's exactly what happened. You cut the head off the snake in Game 7 of all games. Tyrese Halliburton fucking tears his Achilles. First of all, once you did that, that's an emotional damage to the whole team. Okay, if you think of it from a basketball team, you just see your best player on your team tear his Achilles in Game 7. That's a
bench scoring,
bro. If you really sit here and believe that Achilles tear didn't have an impact on the game itself of Game 7, then you don't know basketball, bro.
No, stop. No, you're not listening, dude. Okay, I never said it didn't have an effect on them. Bro, he got hurt in Game 7, gang. The last game. So, let's just say hypothetically he does play. They still outscored OKC and their bench by 86 points. So, are you telling me if he plays that the Pacers bench was gonna or that OKC's bench was gonna score 86 points to catch up with the Pacers? That doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, this conversation, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I kind of fucked y'all up when I brought that Pacers one up, because the Pacers won. I mean, the Thunder won the finals, but their bench got outscored by 86 points.
Reg, can I say something, Reg, real quick?
Go ahead.
You had a show. I believe it was last night after Houston. And I listen to your shows. I'm a truck driver. I go from coast to coast. I could be in California, and next day I could be, I don't know, Idaho or North Dakota. You had Ty on this show last night, and it was I think you had that other dude. What's his name? That's the merchant marine, whatever his name is. What's that guy's on? What's his name, Reg? That works in the ocean.
Don C.
Yeah, Don C. Okay. Don C was on here. It was you and Ty versus Don C, right? And you said, how are we gonna take the Lakers serious by them winning this game when Fred VanVleet was out and Şengün arguably their best player, and they're starters? So you just finished saying right now we can't count starters, but you did that last night when Houston lost the game. You said
you're not paying attention, gang. You're not paying attention. If you're not getting it, you're just not getting it. But you're not making sense. We're talking y'all are talking, and DC Rue, you've never even brought up bench scoring. So I'm really talking to Mr. Button Masher. He's the one that made this argument. I've never heard you, DC Rue, mention bench scoring. So Mr. Button Smasher brought this bench scoring narrative up. Okay, cool. I went with it. Right? He says that's the reason why we're not going to win. So I looked up bench scoring last year in the playoffs. He's correct. Minnesota's bench outscored our bench. Okay. Then I went and looked up the finals. OKC's bench got outscored by Indiana. But they won. And then y'all are saying, oh, but Halliburton tore his Achilles. But he's a starter, though. He's not coming off the bench. So how is him not that? Even if he played, that's not going to affect their bench scoring because he's a starter. So the narrative itself that the bench scoring is the sole reason or the biggest reason why the Lakers aren't going to win, that's not factual. Because we saw last year in the finals, OKC's bench got outscored, but they won the finals. And by the way, do I believe they would have won if Halliburton would have played? Yes, but we don't know that definitively. OKC very well could have still won. So either way, the argument doesn't really make sense.
Of course it makes sense.
Reg, yeah, go ahead. My fault.
Reg, first of all, I said it was 3 reasons. Starting with the coach was number 1, starting with Luka is number 2, and starting with the bench is number 3. So if you're gonna make a point about what I'm saying, make sure you make it correct. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you think, once again, that you having no bench productivity on your team is going to get you to a championship, you are highly mistaken. It doesn't matter if OKC had more points in the bench, had less points. I believe that if OKC if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get the Achilles tear, Indiana's going to win it. And then this conversation would be irrelevant because not only would they have won, they would have the one with the bench point. But you're saying because
you're just speaking hypothetically. There's no definitive answer to that.
But that's what I said. I believe. I said that's what I believe. That's what I said. I believe. They could have lost.
Yeah.
They did lose.
So let me ask you a question. But at the end of the day, because we got keep it 100 in the chat, and he says he said, Reg, look up how many bench points was scored in that game 7. So I looked it up. The Thunder posted 20 points off the bench in the 2025 NBA Finals in Game 7. Right? Let me see. I think in that Game 7, the Pacers scored 42 off the bench. So do you have any thoughts on that? In the Game 7, where Halliburton didn't play, the Pacers bench outscored the Thunder, but they still lost.
They still lost because you cut the head off the snake. If you take Jordan out of any game, if you take Jordan out of a game, you think that take Jordan out of a game. If you take Jordan out of a game and the bench comes on and outscores them, do you still think the Bulls are going to win the game or win the championship?
Bro, you take Jordan on the show talking about bench scoring.
And I gave you I gave you all points and reason why I believe that the Lakers won't win. I gave you 3. So if you're going to mention one, please mention the other 2 as well. I gave you 3.
Hold on. You're the one that brought the narrative up, gang. I never brought it up. You brought it up. You said the reason the Lakers ain't going to win is because of the bench and they're not scoring. That's what you said. So then I go and look up bench scoring in the playoffs last year, Lakers versus Minnesota. Minnesota outscored the Lakers by 79 points. Cool. I look up the finals. The Thunder got outscored in the totality of the finals. They got outscored 205 to 291. The Pacers bench outscored them. So all I'm saying is that's just not really that important. If I'm being honest with you, it's not. Because the Thunder's bench got outscored and they still won. And I get you're trying to make the argument, but if Tyrese would have played, they would have won, but we don't know that. And even if he does play, right? It's not going to change the fact that the Pacers had better bench production. It's not going to change that.
All I'm saying All I'm saying is that it's one of the three factors. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the biggest factor, but I'm saying it's one of the three factors.
But when you
You
came
asked
on the
why they
show,
won't win. I gave you three. I gave you 3 points.
You started with
the
that
coaching. Okay. You asked me what was you asked me in order. What was my take? 1 is the coaching. 2 is Luka. And 3 is the bench. It is very simple. I'm not speaking another fucking language. It is very simple of what I'm saying. Very clear. 1 is the coach. That is why they won't win. 2 is Luka. That is why they won't win. And 3 is the bench. Another reason why they won't win. But it all starts with the coach. That is my main thing. It has nothing to do with anything else. My main reason why the Lakers will not win a championship is the coach. That is the number one reason.
Dutterverse, go ahead, dude.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, what you got?
This is to the button master. You can hear me, bro?
Of course I can.
Like, we get what you saying. Like, I've been watching the channel for a minute. And like, is what you're saying is not wrong. Nothing you said is wrong. Anything. But to your point with the bench scoring, I feel like that argument you can go both ways with it. That's why Reg kind of gave you that example with the Lakers in the playoffs and then the finals that same year. It's like nothing you're saying is like wrong, and that's what they're trying to get you to understand. It's like you're right on so many levels. That's the Lakers in a nutshell. Those 3 reasons. But it's like you haven't said anything that Reg hasn't said this whole time. It's like he's not trying to disagree with you, but that's really what it is.
But the thing is, can I say something? The thing is,
Go ahead.
the thing is when you got all right. First things off, you got callers that come in all the time. You got people like Todd, Top Fly High, 444, all these guys. When they come in, they say valid points, but they're not mentioning that. It's like a couple of weeks ago, I had told Reg the Lakers ain't going nowhere. They're not getting past the first round. And then, like I said, it's about Luka and Austin Reeves. Okay, I understand that, but you got to mention all these factors. You have to. Because all of it is a part of the game. And depending on how far the Lakers go, they have to look at all 3 things that this gentleman just finished saying. They have to. The bench, if your bench is not efficient in the regular season, what makes you think it's gonna be efficient in the playoffs? If your coaching, I'm not okay, I can't blame 100% on JJ Redick. But what I'm saying is, I saw what happened in the playoff series with Minnesota. So what makes me think, it's like Red said, oh, well, if Tyrese Halliburton was playing, what makes you think that they want to win a championship? Okay, well, it's the same argument with JJ Redick. So am I supposed to believe that he's supposed to have a different strategy if the Lakers go up against Denver in the first round? Or if they even get to the Western Conference Finals? No. It's going to be the same outcome. He's going to do the same thing with his lineups. And it's going to be the same. Luka's gonna go what? 12 for like what? 40? So it's the same thing. I can't. It's like Red said. Oh well, you can't say that the Lakers lost or OKC with the bench playing. No, it's a factor. It's a major factor. JJ Redick, the way he uses his lineup, is a major factor.
My whole pushback on it was it's not that big of a deal. I'm looking at bench scoring last year. The Thunder were 18th, and they won the championship. So if it's as big of a factor as y'all claim, then the Thunder should have been one of the league leaders in bench scoring. But they were 18th. They were below average in bench scoring. So all I'm saying is I don't believe bench scoring is the reason why the Lakers ain't gonna win. It's gonna be because of Luka.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think it's a factor? Do you think it's any part of the factor? That's what I'm asking.
I'll put it to you like this.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'll put it to you like this. If this was like on a 100% scale, I would give bench scoring maybe 10 to 20%. Like it's not that big of a
that's big enough. 10 to 20 is still percentage on the pie. If you cut a pie, you give me a piece of it, you still give me a piece of the pie. That is still part of the pie. The coaching,
right,
it doesn't matter.
When you came on the show, though, that's what you led with, which was bench scoring.
Yeah. Okay, that
and
may
I'm
have
telling
been
you,
what I led with.
that's not what you should have led with.
Then what should I live with? The coaching? Because I still said
with
that's
Luka,
the number one reason.
With Luka.
I don't need to. No, because that's not what I don't think that's what the problem is. I still think the problem is the coaching. Okay, that's the problem. It ain't the Luka. It ain't the bench. It's coaching. That's what it starts with. It will always start with there. It will always finish with there. So we talking about the coaching is being ran from up top in the front office. Then it starts with the fucking front office. At the end of the fucking day, the number one reason why the Lakers, the number one reason. Then listen, I don't need to start with that. He asked me to put it in order. I put the fucking shit in order. Number one is coaching. Number two is Luka. Number three is the bench. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I start with. I gave you the order of what I think is a reason. Number one is coaching. Okay, that's the number one reason. Let's ignore the bench. Let's ignore the bench. Let's take the bench out the fucking equation. Let's ask the question again, Mr. Buttonmaster. What do you think is going to hold Luka from winning the championship? It's the coaching. Boom. There's my answer. That's the answer. Okay, that's the answer. This is a definitive answer. We don't got to run around in circles. We don't got to do all that. Number one answer. That is the answer. It's a coaching.
Let me stop you though, because to me, I feel like that's even a cop-out. Because I've been watching basketball for a long time. Like, you know, the same conversations me and you having, I done had them on the phone on the phone with the homies, at the lunch table, whatever. I never recall in all my years of talking basketball, right, where we're talking about a superstar player that's in the middle of his prime, 27 years old, and the first person we talk about is the coach. When LeBron was 25, 26, wasn't nobody talking about Mike Brown, gang. When he went to Miami, I remember 2011 when they lost. The narrative was not, but Eric Spoelstra, he don't know how to coach. That wasn't the narrative. The narrative was, it's always been the star. It's always been the star. So that's why I say, to me, you came on this show, you're mentioning bench scoring. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, right? You made a good point with that. I even agree with you. I just don't think it's as big of a point as you tried to make it out to be. But okay, cool. I'll agree with you on the bench scoring. You're right. The Lakers do need to get better bench production. But once again, at the end of the day, it falls on your highest paid guy, which is Luka. JJ Redick don't make more money than Luka. None of the guys on the bench make more money than Luka. It starts with Luka. He's the guy. It's on him. I don't even know the coach in San Antonio. I swear to God, I don't even know the nigga's name. I know he's a yellow nigga. That's all I know. I don't even know the coach for San Antonio. But I know San Antonio got one of the best teams this year. And they're competing for a championship this year. I don't even know the coach's name. So once again, to me, it starts and ends with Luka. He's going to be the reason the team is either successful or they fail. And that's where I'm at with it.
Get that. I'm going to ask you once again. I'm going to ask the chat, and I'm going to ask everybody else one simple question. If y'all think it doesn't start with the coach, okay, that's what y'all say. That's what you say. Nobody. I don't know what everybody else says. That's what you say, Reg. You say, Reg, it doesn't start with the coach. Do you think if Greg Popovich was coaching the fucking Lakers with this team, would it still be the same?
No. Of course not.
Exactly.
Of course not.
Exactly.
But the thing is,
it doesn't matter how much Luka is getting paid. Doesn't matter how much LeBron is getting paid. Doesn't matter none of that. If Greg Popovich was on this, and Greg, no, there is no difference because you keep saying it goes to the. You keep saying no, there isn't. Because you keep saying it goes. There isn't.
I'm gonna explain to you the difference. The difference is you're talking hypothetical situation. I'm talking reality. You're talking, well, if Greg Popovich was the coach, Greg Popovich isn't the coach, gang. Let's talk about what's reality and what we're working with now. The reality with this situation is we don't got Phil Jackson. We don't got Greg Popovich. We got Luka and we got JJ. So we have to operate with what we have. And what I'm telling you is the success of the Lakers isn't going to come down to JJ Redick. Is he going to play a role? Yes, he's going to play a role just like your point about bench scoring. So once again, we agree. JJ's going to play a role, The bitch is gonna play a role. Everybody's gonna play a role. But I'm saying, who is gonna be the biggest reason? It's gonna be the highest paid guy. The guy that we just signed and took him to a Backstreet Boys concert after. That's gonna be Luka. JJ Redick is not a bigger factor than Luka. Nobody is. LeBron's not. Austin Reeves is not. Rob Pelinka is not. Luka's going to be the biggest reason why we succeed or why we fail. It's that simple.
That's not basketball then. Like I said, we've all agreed. Okay, we can all agree to disagree. Okay, we can all agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, I believe if they had a better coach that took control of the team and put people in their motherfucking place, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's what I believe. So you ask me, what do I think is the biggest reason for Luka not getting to the finals or Luka not making it to the whatever? It starts with, in my opinion, the biggest reason starts with the coach. That's what I say. The coach needs to be able to fucking coach. And if y'all are going to say that the coaching is coming from up top, then like I said, then we're running around in circles because it's never going to happen. They're never going to win a championship. They're never going to get far in the playoffs because if their only objective is about finances and revenue because they want to debut these two white players as their guards and as their selling point, then you're never going to see the Lakers go anywhere.
Now you see through the illusion.
Exactly. But see, here's my only pushback with you, though, right? Because you're not acknowledging the problem with Luka. You're not acknowledging it. You know, you're doing what most Faker fans do, and that's deflect blame, and you start pointing the finger at everybody else instead of Luka. Here's, once again, let's operate in reality. This is reality. Luka's been traded twice. Traded on draft night, traded last year. Okay? Why did he get traded? People were speculating it's about money. People were speculating it's about his habits, his conditioning, his weight, his style of play, right? So there's a reason he's here on this team to begin with. It's because his old team didn't want him. And there's a reason why. But it seems like what Laker fans want to do is they want to deflect blame from Luka and all of his bad habits that he's attained over the years, and they want to start pointing the finger at role players and at the coach. When at the end of the day, it's on him. If he was doing his job the right way, he would still be on the Mavericks. There's a reason he's here. You guys don't want to talk about the real reasons why he's here and the real reasons why we're not going to be successful with him if he continues to play this brand of basketball. I think Luka's style of play is a way bigger issue than JJ Redick. And I agree with you. I don't think JJ Redick is a good coach either. But Luka's style of play is a bigger issue. The stat padding, the low IQ, the slowing down of the game, taking too many threes, and obviously him not being in the best of shape, I think plays a much bigger role in JJ Redick. But
if we want to keep it 100%, if you want to keep it 100%, I don't even think that's the reason why he's there. I think the reason why he's in the Lakers is because it's as you said, revenue. They need to have a star in LA. That's why it was an under-the-table deal in the middle of the fucking night when nobody was looking. They need to have a star in LA. If you really want to talk about the real reason why I think Luka's there, that's why I think Luka's there. It has nothing to do with his habits. It has nothing to do with this. The NBA did an NBA move for their business. At the end of the day, it's an entertainment, and that's what they're doing. That's why they brought Luka, because you need a fucking star in LA, and LeBron's about to be out. Once LeBron is out, who you got? Anthony Davis and fucking Austin Reeves? Fuck no, nobody's watching the Lakers. Nobody's going to see that. The Lakers is a franchise of the NBA. You need a star there. You always have to have a star there.
Dude,
so if you really want to talk about it,
once again, hold on, DC Roo. Hold on, DC Roo. Once again, my guy, you're operating in an alternate reality. You're not operating in reality. The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka to the Lakers due to concerns over Luka's conditioning, diet, and defensive liabilities. The organization grew frustrated with his lack of discipline and wanted a better defensive team, aiming to build around a win-now mentality with Davis. We have to operate in reality. We cannot keep coming up with hypothetical scenarios in our mind. Oh, the NBA, they wanted a superstar in LA. They already had two of them, LeBron and Anthony Davis. Dude, Dallas traded Luka because of his diet, his defensive limitations, and his conditioning. Y'all never want to actually talk about reality. This shit is insane to me.
Listen, I told you what I think, okay? If you want to sit here and think that, you're allowed to think what you want to think. I have never said anything about Luka being the best player or everything. I give Luka all the fucking shit. That is not what I am saying, okay? I am not fucking scapegoating for Luka. I'm not doing any of that for Luka, okay?
I got a question for
obviously,
Button
you're not hearing what I'm saying, okay? I specifically said why I think the Lakers won't win, and I put Luka as number 2 the reason. But at the end of the day, it's always going to start with the coach. Button
Let me ask you a
Masher.
quick question, but
Button Masher. If you're going to say my name, please get it correct.
Oh, Button
I
Masher.
respect you. I respect you. Respect me. Go ahead, continue.
Oh shit, 444, you still here, bro?
Yes.
I didn't even know you were still
Thank
here.
God for 444.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you think if Luka decided to go to the coach and say, Coach, I don't really want to take all these shots. I want to share the ball. I want some plays that is going to highlight not just me hogging the ball and shooting up all these crazy shots. Do you think that the coach and the front office would adhere to him?
That's a good question because, at the end of the day, people aren't coming to like we all said, like we all know, people are not coming here to watch Luka pass the ball. Okay? People are not paying their top dollar to watch Luka pass the ball. And me personally, if we want to talk about hypothetical and fucking interdimensional multiverse, I don't think Luka would ever say that. But if he did, hypothetically, I think that, you're going to have to, like we said, you're going to have to follow what your star player says. At the end of the day, if this is what your star player is coming up with, then that's what we're going to have to do.
And that's the reason. And that's the reason why I will put a lot of the blame on Luka, because he has the ability to play a more efficient style of basketball, and he refuses to do that because, number one, he's allowed to just do whatever, and his ego is just growing by the day.
But why is he allowed to do whatever? That is a question. Why is he allowed to do whatever?
Because, like I said, I just believe the front office doesn't care about, they'll do whatever it takes to make him happy. And so even if it's at the detriment of other players and the team.
So if that is the case, that's like having a bad child. Okay, that's like you being a parent and having your bad child fuck up all the time and continue to let him fuck up. Are you going to continue to let him fuck up? No, you're not going to continue to let him fuck up. You're going to try to pull.
I'll answer that. Why do you think he can have a poor, like his efficiency is like shit, but he scores these points? And do you see any like major like analysts talking about, that? No, they just talk about all the offense. They never talk about, is he efficient? What does he take to make those shots? How does that impact the team? They don't talk about it. And that lets me know that everybody's kind of in on avoiding and overlooking his flaws as a player, because you know what? He has to be the star. Go ahead.
And this is why I say all this is about, at the end of the day, back to what I was just saying. They need that star in LA so they could talk about him, so they could do all this, so they can have this fucking conversation. Because, like I said, the Lakers not having a star on their team is bad for the league. The Los Angeles Lakers is like the number 1 or 2 financially businesses in the fucking NBA. If you don't have that revenue, your ratings are going down, your sponsorships are going down, and at the end of the day, no matter how much we want to put our feelings into this, it is a business.
We have to operate in reality.
It is a business.
We have to operate in
Bro,
reality, dude.
So then we're all saying the wrong thing then, because he just said, everybody's saying that if we're talking about reality, and we're talking about the front office of allowing Luka to be Luka and doesn't matter, then that's business. What are we saying? We're coming back to the same point. No matter what we are talking about, we keep coming back to the same point. And the same point at the end of the day is that they're allowing Luka to be Luka so they can revenue money. That's what we're saying.
But that doesn't remove
That's what we're
Luka
saying.
that doesn't remove Luka from responsibility, though. Just because.
But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am not here capping, backing, or promoting bad habits. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just giving y'all my take, my point of view on why things are happening clearly and concise so we could all understand. Okay? I think that, like I said, it starts with coaching, but we're saying that it doesn't start with coaching. It starts with the higher ups. So let's go over there. It starts with the higher ups. They're allowing Luka to do whatever he wants because Luka puts up points, and points put dollars in seats. At the end of the day, right? We're all saying that's what they care about. That's why they're boosting Austin Reeves. That's why they have him as a starter instead of having him come off the bench. That's why his jerseys is number 1, because at the end of the day, it's a fucking business. Okay? So that's what we're all saying. If we're all saying the same fucking thing, why are we back in? Why are we even having this conversation? Like I said, if we're all sitting here saying the same thing, that the Lakers don't care about winning, they care about money, then why are we having the conversation? Why are we watching the Lakers? Why are we talking about them? Because we all know it's going to fail. What are we talking about? This is what I'm saying.
But this is what I'm saying. I believe that there are the fan base is somewhat divided, and I think we play a big role in that. I don't know if there's a lot of people that feel the way that we do here, but I know there's a lot of us that do. So here's what I think is going on. I think there's a large portion of the fan base that believes they can win with Luka because he got to the finals in 2024, right? There are people like us out there who believe you can't win with Luka. So I think that's what's going on here. I think maybe the front office, management, whatever, I think those people might believe that Luka can win. I'm of the mindset that he can't. People point to him going to the finals. I point to guys like Jimmy Butler getting to the finals and never winning. Devin Booker's went to the finals and didn't win. Nobody thinks Devin Booker's going to win a ring at this point. So it's like, to me, people use the finals argument, but to me, it's a bullshit argument because plenty of guys have gotten to the finals and lost and never won. So that's what I think is going on 444. I think it's just a lot of people are just kind of divided right now. And I think as the years go on, more people will start to realize, oh, wait, this guy isn't really the guy that you can really win with. And I think we're just kind of a little bit ahead of the curve.
I can agree with that. Because we all see it. He's inefficient. He's a ball hog. He's a crybaby. Like, he's a fucking cone on defense. We all see that. All right? So I can agree with that. We're ahead of the curve. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, at the end of the day, I didn't want Luka on the Lakers. Because you put Luka on the Lakers, you're taking the ball out of LeBron's hand. That's my point.
And this is why I say this is why I titled the show, This is Luka's Last Chance to Win, because of everything you just stated, right? All his flaws. And also with the players that are emerging on other teams, the Wembys, the SGAs, Kay Cunningham, and all these guys. To me, this is his best chance. Like, outside of this year, like I said, 4 for 4, I just don't see a way that you're going to be able to keep improving this team. And it's not like the other teams are going to fall off. OKC's not going anywhere. The Spurs are not going anywhere. So if you can't beat them now, what makes you think you're going to beat Victor Wembanyama when he's in the middle of his prime at 27? He's what, 22, 23 right now? If you can't beat him now, then y'all might as well just go ahead and blow this shit up now.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point right there. They should blow it up because they're not. I mean, but they're not though. And this is what I'm saying though. They're not going to blow it up because at the end of the day, it's a business. And if you got Austin Reeves' fucking jersey selling out of crazy, you got Luka's jersey selling out of crazy, why would you give that up to fucking go for a championship? They don't care about that. Like we've all just said, it's all from the higher ups. They see the fucking seats being filled with the Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic jersey, and that's what they want. At the end of the day, they want to keep the revenue coming in.
Exactly.
We've all just sat here and said that.
And that's the difference between Dallas and the people that were running the show, like Nico, versus a Rob Pelinka. Like, Nico wanted a championship. That's why he traded him, because he didn't feel he could win with him. Now, if he would have had the mentality of a Rob Pelinka, like, okay, well, let's just keep him so we can sell tickets, then he would have still been in Dallas. So I agree with you. That's the problem with the Lakers. The people that are running the show are not serious about winning. Because if they were, we probably don't make this deal to begin with. Because they also, Dallas called Milwaukee first for Giannis. They said no. They called Minnesota second for Anthony Edwards. They said no. And then they finally called the Lakers. That was the third option for AD. And then the Lakers said yes.
But why do you think the Lakers said yes? But let me ask you a question before you. I apologize. I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead. No, you're good. You're good. I'm listening.
Why do you think the Lakers said yes, though?
Because the Lakers, I don't know if you've ever been to LA or where you're from, but LA, it's a very racist city. The Lakers are a racist organization at this point with the people that's running the show under Rob and Jeannie and them. So, in my opinion, this is my theory, and I've said it on the show 1,000 times. They saw the fanfare when Austin became a starter. So it started with Austin. That carried over to them drafting Dalton Knecht. Then in 2025, they struck gold when they got their hands on Luka. And now you're seeing it with LaRavia, with Luke Kennard. They're clearly gentrifying the team. They're clearly done with LeBron and Clutch Sports and all the black people associated with them. And that's what's going on. It's the gentrification of the LA Lakers.
But do you think, because let's just keep it real. They're non-athletic. They're non-athletic. They're only one side of the court. Do you think then that this will blow up in their face?
Absolutely. It blew up in their face last year, which is why I don't understand why they would bring these same two guys back. That's what I thought they were going to do last summer, was break this duo up, because I thought everybody said that Reeves and Luka have redundant skill sets, and you can't have both of them. So the fact that we're here in 2026 about to go through another playoff run with these dudes, it's a little bit insane.
Reg, clarify for me, what do we mean about blowing up in their face? Meaning what specifically?
Because, like I said, I think there are people out there that believe you can win with these guys.
I mean, if they're a revenue-driven organization and they're just looking to exploit the fandom, because like I don't think they're about winning right now. Go ahead.
Hey, Reg, this is what I was gonna say. This is my opinion on this. If Nico Harrison last year, if he would have advised, what was it? It was 2 teams. It was 2 or 3 teams that he advised, right? It was Minnesota, and what was the other 2 teams? Or the other team?
Milwaukee.
Okay. If Nico Harrison would have got on the phone, sat down, got on the phone, right? and advised the whole entire NBA, I could rest assure you that one of those teams would have said, "What do we have to do to bring Luka to our hometown? What do we got to do?" I could rest assure you that. And if the Lakers was to ever if he was to ever be in a situation that LeBron's in right now, I could also rest assure you that another NBA team will pick him up because the media, the fans view Luka as a great talent. Like we just saw breaking news the other day, right? With the NBA, they trying to expand to Vegas, and what's the other team? I think it's Seattle. So,
Yep.
like, what are we talking about here? Like, yeah, I get it. He doesn't play defense. His numbers are not always efficient. Like, so fanboys are going to look at points, rebounds, and assists, right? So they'll call on the show because I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of times, Reg, right, that you got to stop people, right? Because they're like, oh, well, look how much Luka dropped today. Look how many rebounds and assists he had. But then they don't look at that number. It's like 12 for 41, right? So you look at that number, you're like, oh, wow, this guy, okay. Like you're looking at all three major departments, but you're not looking at, he went 4 for like 20 on three-pointers? So how's that efficient? But what I'm trying to say, though, is this that if another team called the Lakers and the Lakers were putting him on the trade block or whatever it might be, he's going to go to another team. And he's going to do the same thing that he's doing to the Lakers, and he's going to be dropping 30, 40 points. He's going to be doing the same thing. And that team's going to expect him to win a championship if it's for Seattle, if it's for Vegas, whoever it's for, if it's for the Knicks. So the media and the fanboys, they look at him like a generational talent. I don't know if it's, well, they look at him like, well, you know what? The European godness. Like he's their Michael Jordan in Slovenia, pretty much. So no matter what team he goes to, he's going to be that guy. Even if it was not the Lakers. It's as simple as that, Reg. I don't know what you think about it. What do you think about that?
Give me 1 second, DC Rule. We got Mike 298 with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man.
I fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy.
LeBron fans.
He said the expectations are lowered for the gentrified players. What'd you say, DC Rule? He's gonna go to another team and do the same thing?
Okay, my question to you is this: if the Lakers traded him to New York Knicks, what do you think will happen over there? As far as like him being his superstar, him dropping the points, the assists, and the rebounds. Do you think he'll have the same productivity in the Knicks as he had it in LA, or you think his numbers will drop and you think they're not, the media and the fanboys, they're not going to be talking about him? What do you think if he went to the Lakers or if he went to Washington Wizards?
Yeah,
it'll be the same thing, right?
He's gonna get his numbers, bro. He knows how to get his numbers, but he doesn't know how to win. I mean, it's the same thing with Kevin Durant. We saw last night. Kevin Durant knows how to score. He just doesn't know how to play basketball. That's why he keeps jumping from bandwagon to bandwagon, trying to win, trying to cheat for championships. Like, yeah, I just think Luka, like I said, he's got a long way to go in his development. So I agree with Mr. Button Masher when he brings up the coaching, because I agree. Like, yeah, JJ Redick he's not coaching. I don't see no development with Luka. But in terms of his game, his style of play, things like that.
But also too, Reg, what I agree with Button Master is Button Master's not saying one particular category. He's saying 3 individual categories. That's where I agree with him. I agree with the bench. I also agree with how Luka's style is, how he plays, how he distributes his style, and how it affects the team, and also the coaching. It's true.
I agree as well. I agree as well. My only thing is that Luka's style of play, they're acquiescing to his style of play, and it starts from the front office. And the front office was going to put a coach in there that was going to be flexible to get with the program. And what is that program? Hey, whatever Luka wants, you give it to him. However he wants to play, you embrace that. And that's what I'm seeing, because a lot of things don't make sense. And that's why I put it on Luka. If Luka wants to win and he's serious about winning, the dude's been playing basketball forever. He understands. He just has to commit to wanting to win the right way. And that's sharing the ball, being efficient the best that he can, not being lazy on defense, stop complaining to referees. I don't blame the coach for none of that. That is Luka. Complaining to referees, not getting back on defense, that is 1,000% him. And maybe he just doesn't care about the NBA. You know, maybe he just comes over here just to get a check because he realized the fans are going to support him because he scores a lot of points.
And that's what it
maybe.
is. 444. Not to cut you off, but that's what it is. That's why whenever we're having a conversation about him and they like, oh, but Steph won, it's like, bro, stop comparing him to guys that were serious about winning. You made the point all the time, 444. He's always smiling and laughing on the floor. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, does he even care about winning?
I mean, who foul baits and laughs because it worked? I mean, that's crazy. You know,
he's been doing that.
Personality.
He's been doing that since Dallas. I mean, nothing is new with that whole smiling and, you know, I mean, that's not new. He was probably doing that. He probably does that when he's playing with the Slovenian team over the summer or the Olympics. He still does that. I mean, that's nothing new. My whole thing about it is, it's like I told you, Reg. Me personally, in my personal opinion, I don't think the Lakers are gonna go far. I don't take these games. I don't take it. I want to know who the Lakers are gonna play in the first round. And I want to know how JJ is going to utilize. I want to know how he's going to utilize that bench, and if his coaching style is going to be different from last year with the series with Minnesota, or something new is going to come out this year that we didn't see last year. That's what I want to see.
We got this clown in the chat. You said dude averages 31, 9, and 8 in the playoffs. Once again, there's like. We understand that Luka knows how to score. We understand that. Does he know how to win? That's the objective of the game.
That is the question.
That's the objective
of the
game.
That is the question.
You casuals have ruined basketball discourse because all y'all do whenever we're talking about a player is bring up box score numbers. James Harden had gaudy numbers in his prime. A lot of guys have put up great numbers. Tracy McGrady, whoever. A lot of guys put up numbers, but they're not Kobe. They're not LeBron. They're not Shaq. What separates the good from the great is winning. Yes, Kevin Durant. Yes, Luka. They know how to score, but do you know how to win? I don't think he knows how to win. So I think he's got a long way to go in his development. But that's really all I got, fellas, on this particular show. Y'all got any final thoughts?
Thanks for having me on the show. Let me speak my piece. I appreciate that because, you know, just like everybody else here, I watch a show, or I should listen to your show religiously. You got good stuff, so that's the first thing. I'm going to end it off with this, man. You can't teach an old dog new tricks unless they want to learn. And he's been doing this since he was 15, all the way in Slovenia. He's been doing it on Dallas. He does it on the Lakers. Me personally, I don't think he's ever going to change. I don't think he's ever he has that type of, you know, winner mentality in him to look himself in the mirror and say, this is what I need to do to make us better. You know, there's got to be at some point in your life that you have to be able to take accountability for your actions. And the first thing you have to do is look at yourself in the mirror and be able to do that. I don't think that Luka is that type of player because he's never been that type of player. And like you said, as long as we have people allowing him to continue with the foolishness and saying, hey, you're doing a great job, patting him on the head because you're putting up these gaudy numbers, it's never going to change, because if that's all we're looking at, it's a number that he's putting up, then that's all he's going to continue doing. You know, there are some people that call him out on his defense, and there are some people that call him out on his ball hogging. But at the end of the day, they're always going to be able to go back to, you know, just like the person just said, 30-something in the playoffs. Yeah, he got 30-something in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, what does that do? That does nothing for his legacy. And I want to ask y'all, would y'all put him on the first team All-NBA as being the leading scorer of the league? Because obviously he's going to get that. But, you know, That me personally, I wouldn't put him on the first team All NBA. I don't care if he's leading the league and his team is doing good, because first team All NBA, you got to at least. Not everybody believes that. Not everybody believes it. I believe that sometimes you have to be able to play two way, but not everybody thinks like that, because old boy from Denver is always going to be first team NBA. He hardly plays any defense. Joker, but that's my question, because it's about to be over soon. All these things are going to be coming up, and then that's something that the casuals are going to be able to have. Oh, Luka made first team All NBA again. Well, as you say, whoop de doo, whoop de fucking do. What does that get us in the end? He's going to be first team All NBA and out in the first round. Then what they going to say? That's what I'm end off with.
All right, Mr. Button Master, good call, bro. 444, you got any final thoughts, man? Good call.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, the Luca business is just, for me. It's just, I see the play. It's just money. He's a whore, and the Lakers are gonna have their fun with him, make all their money, and then they're gonna use and abuse him, because that's just what he is, and they'll get rid of him and move on to the next. That's just what I see. That's his destiny. Championships, I do not see that in his destiny. But who knows? We're going to see this playoffs. That's it. Without the helps of the refs, I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. 444. Like I said, I think this is his best chance, bro. I mean, because like I said, the other teams, it's like the MVP race. It's like people talking about, oh, Luka should be in the conversation. But it's like, dude, do you think SGA is just going to fall off in the middle of March? You think he's not going to continue to put up numbers? You think Wemby's not going to continue to put up numbers? He's in a race with guys that are younger than him. Cade Cunningham is younger than him. Victor Wembanyama is younger than him. SGA was in the same draft class as him. So he's competing with these guys for these rings and these awards and stuff like that. And he's gotten lapped. And I think that's what the fanboys don't get. He's not improving. And that's what I will say about SGA, for example. We've seen the progression, 444. He was in the same draft class as Luka. And he's lapped Luka at this point. He's on his way to his second MVP. Luka doesn't have one. He's gotten better. And that's the thing with Luka. The fanboys want to keep throwing out the numbers. He's been having the same numbers every year, but his team don't never do shit. So clearly the numbers ain't that impactful. So to me, at the end of the day, it boils down to you got to get better at basketball. And you fanboys, you have to start holding him accountable and demanding he gets better. Y'all are part of the reason why he won't improve, because he got y'all. He knows y'all going to defend him for being a stat patter. And that's why he just continues to just do what he does, because he got his fanboys,
Yeah, I agree. What I'll say is that we've seen throughout the course of history, there were those who won MVPs who didn't deserve MVPs. You know what I mean? So just do not be surprised if you see an effort to elevate this dude to a place that he doesn't deserve. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I just see what I'm seeing now, and I'm just like, wow, with the scoring, with the scoring title and all that stuff. Just think about it. Think about the amount of free throws and stat padding that he's been allowed to do just so that he can get this title. So is it really a legitimate title? You know what I mean? Is it really a legitimate title when you're scamming most of your points? A great deal of your points is all working through scams. Like, nah, that's an effort. That's a concerted effort to make sure that this dude stays ahead of at the top. So yeah,
Bro,
I'm curious to see.
444. If you would have told me 15 years ago that in 15 years we're gonna be talking about a dude that's literally cheating so he can get points, I'd have been like, bro, no. Like, there's no way. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me, bro, like where we're at in the sport. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I do sit and think about it, and it's like we're really here at this point. Like, where guys are
We've regressed.
we're going
The people
backwards, dog.
the people that are watching the game, the game has been so dumbed down, has been so watered down that the fans have been dumbed down. They're watered down. That they're actually defending foul baiting. They're defending it as if it's legitimate. Like no, it's not. So yeah, he's scoring all these points, and yeah, I mean, but at what cost? He's scamming, man. He's scamming. You know, that's just it. I'm sorry. He's scamming. I mean,
He's scamming, man.
and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna labor it too much, but I'm gonna tell you what's sad though, right? I don't mind the scamming if there was balance, right? Let's just say that equally they were giving people who are legitimately getting fouled calls. Then I would be like, you know what? I'll take the good with the bad. But when I have to see LeBron James get visibly fouled, get hacked, pushed, bumped, whatever, and he doesn't get a call, but you tap Luka. You tap him. Luka throws his body into you. I mean, there's sometimes where you barely touched, and he gets the call. That's when I'm furious. I'm like, yeah, this is. I refuse to accept what I'm seeing as real. Like, I'm like, nah. Like, you're not gonna scam my mind. I'll call it out. I rebuke it. When he does all that, I rebuke all that stuff. Nah, that's not real. You know, nope. You got to because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. If you sit and watch that and you don't have a natural like adverse reaction to it, then you're being conditioned. And I don't want to be conditioned to where I'm like, yeah, that's basketball. That's a technique. You know how hard it is to foul bait? That's a skill. I've had people tell me that's a skill. That is a skill. To foul bait, to scam for fouls. That's a skill.
I mean, 444. You know, the other clown on his show, he was going around saying that it's a part of the game. And I'm like, well, I don't know when it became a part of the game, because when I was, this is a fairly new phenomenon then, because when I was growing up, I mean, you didn't even think to play like I said, if I would have known this is where the game was going, I would have been doing this 15, 16, 17 years ago when I was playing basketball. but I just accepted the fact 444 that I just wasn't good enough. It seems like guys now, they're like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna be here, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to secure a contract. Whether they got a flop, I mean, you see it with Austin. He does it just on a lower level. You know, it's like dudes doing whatever they gotta do to stay in the league and stay. It's like, bro, you're just not that good if you have to do this type of stuff. If you can't create separation, if you can't get a shot off without having, you know, nobody guarding you, then you're just not that good. But it's like, no, they're forcing the issue now, and it's like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. And if foul baiting is what I have to do, then I'm just gonna do it. It's crazy.
No, I agree. It is what it is. I'm gonna agree with you 100%. So, yeah, man, we'll see how this thing turns out, man. But I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to it. But I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of injuries, man. So we'll see what's up.
Yesterday, when Don C was on the show, Don C was like, when I said I think the new floor for the Lakers is the finals, he said, yeah, but I think you got ulterior motive.
That was funny, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He said funny. I got ulterior motives, and I just busted out laughing because that's so true, man. I do. Because you notice, right? 444, they're hyping them up on the mayonnaise media, right? Everywhere. They're hyping him up. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's keep this going because this is going to make the fall that much more sweeter for me. You know what I mean? When they crash and burn, no, y'all going to have to stand on this being the best backcourt duo. I'm not going to let y'all just get away with that. You can't call them the best backcourt, and then when they get their ass beat, you want to blame Vando. Like, I'm not feeling that at all.
But see, that's why I put the caveat of the refs, because I'm kind of seeing a pattern, and it's looking like this whole best backcourt, the NBA is getting behind it. And if the NBA, the organizations, if they get behind this, man, we might be in for something that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like, two white players being considered the best duo and going to the Western Conference final. I'm telling the league got games and tricks of their own as well. And I'm telling you, because they're going way too hard with this whole duo thing. And I'm just like, they're doo-doo. Like, what was this? What are we talking about? Like, you know what's so funny? If you look at that Houston game, right? You know the guy Shepard that was on Houston?
Yeah, Reed Shepard.
You saw how he was slicing and dicing, like getting to the rim quite easy, blowing past Reeves and
He had
Luka,
one where
right?
he dunked it. I was surprised.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the whole time I'm watching that, right, I'm like, yo, if this dude Shepard is doing that, like, I can only imagine what the athletic black players like that are on San Antonio are going to do, or what Minnesota is going to do, right? Because they couldn't stop Shepard. And I'm like, so if you can't stop Shepard, how are you going to be able to stop these other athletic players that, you know what they do? Like, and that was a telltale sign again. And I'm just like, okay. But as you can see, man, referees, yeah, they can sway games. And when I started seeing them give Reeves quite a bit free throws, so that he can get his points and look like he's doing something and not just running around. Even though he was just running around. When I saw that, man, I said, okay, this might be a setup. They might be preparing people for what's to come. So, I'm serious.
Yeah, I think they can get away with it in the regular season, because it's like, especially like when the season first starts in October, November, that's football season, so it's like nobody's really watching. But like when the playoffs start, football's over, no college football, no football, and no NFL. You really just have the NBA, and that's when everybody's watching. And I just don't believe that they're gonna allow them to do this stuff come playoff time. I just don't. I don't believe it. And then also too, the game slows down, and the games means, like, that's the thing with the regular season too. The games have no meaning to them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they mean something. You're jockeying for seeding, but it doesn't count to like you going home. In the playoffs, it's like, okay, if we lose 4 games, we're going home. If you lose 4 games, you can lose 4 games in the regular season, and you got 80 games to go. But in the playoffs, it's just different. So palms get sweaty. Guys aren't driving like how they used to. Because I don't know if you noticed that about Reeves too. He's not going to the line as much as he once was. Did you see him crying for free throws yesterday too? Did you see that?
No, for sure. No,
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like every time, like, he was trying to walk to the line. I remember it was one play, and he got fouled, and he was trying to walk to the line, and I think it was Amin Thompson. He was like, "That's on the floor." And he was like, "No, I'm shooting that." It's like, no, dude, you're not getting. They're not finna just keep allowing you to stat pad, bro. Like, so I think, and then too 444. I don't know if you saw it, the clip on the Jump, but they were talking about not the Jump, NBA Today with yeah. So they were talking about Jaylen Brown because I think last night in yesterday's game, he got the most free throws damn near he probably ever got.
Correct.
Right. So they brought up his comment on foul baiting. So the whole conversation about foul baiting, it's kind of taken a leg of its own. You know what I mean? Like it's becoming a thing now. Like I said, I remember 3 years ago, like 4 years ago, this wasn't even a topic. But it's like in 2026, they're really talking about foul baiting now. So that lets you know how egregious it's gotten to the point that it's hit the mainstream level. And also, I think the referees and everybody, they're realizing it's a problem too, and guys are starting to become, a little bit more cautious now. Like I still feel like the superstars will get the calls, like the Jaylen Browns, the Lukas. But the guys like Austin, listen, buddy, you better be legitimately getting hacked now. Like, they're just not going to just let you just flop now. You know what I mean? Now, Luka, like I said, you can't touch him. But that's Luka, though. You know what I mean? He's earned that cachet. But with Reeves, yeah, buddy, if you're not legitimately getting hit across your head, dude, you're not going to get that call anymore.
What's that foul voice he screams when he asks?
I'm him. First time in a long time. I'm him. Hurting deeply inside.
Austin Reeves. Foul baiter.
Yeah, you're not getting that shit anymore, dude. You had a good run. Cause I'm telling you, bro, if you watch the games now, 444, he's not leaning in. Like when he drives, he's not leaning like how he used to. Like he used to lean on you, like, you know what I mean? And then as soon as you try to touch him, he just flail. But he's not doing it anymore. And I think he's realizing that gimmick is kind of dried up. You know what I mean? You saw he went 5 for 18 last night.
That's my point. Exactly. How many points he had?
15.
And I think
he took 18 shots to get 15 points. That's just nasty, bro. That is just nasty. And then obviously the Mayonnaise Media, they did their show earlier, and I didn't listen to it. I don't know if you heard it, but I don't know if they touched on it because I didn't watch it. But I noticed he wasn't in the thumbnail, and he didn't make the topics. You know what I mean? These people are disgusting.
Disgusting. And then my next thing is this though. With this Luke Kennard, man, I really hope that, like, why is Aston taking more 3-pointers than Luke Kennard, and Luke Kennard is like top 3-point shooter?
Listen, he must have heard my rankings, and he's like, fuck that. I got to get back to number 2. I think that's what it is, bro. He's like, fuck that. I'm the number 2 white boy in this bitch. Because 2 weeks ago, Luke Kennard had ascended past Reeves. But now I got to update the rankings. It looks like Reeves has reclaimed his spot. You know what I mean?
But this is where the coaching thing comes into play, right? Because I don't think he's getting. They're not running plays to specifically so that he's the one at the corner or at the 3-point line to take the shot. You know what I mean? I just, it makes me question certain things because I'm like, I don't think JJ Redick is that dumb. You know what I mean? He's a shooter, So I would think he would be able to relate to Luke Kennard more than anyone, I don't know. I just think all that stuff it's just weird, man. The amount of they allow Aston to do the amount of power they give him, and that's why I think it's just a little. It's higher up, man. Because
it is. It has to be at this point. This isn't bad.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, we're not watching.
You have Luke Kennard. Why aren't you utilizing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Yeah, you're right. It's the higher ups, bro. And that's what Button Masher, that's why I say he's finally realizing it. You know, because when he was like, well, why are we even talking about it? I'm like, now you see what we be saying over here. Like, a lot of this stuff don't, and that's why when I was going on the other clown shows, it's like, you know, a lot of this stuff, they don't even like process it, you know? Like you see, like, your third eye is open. Like you see what's going on. But a lot of these dudes, they just think this stuff is just only about basketball. I'm like, come on, bro. A lot of this stuff is just deeper than basketball. You know?
For sure.
Yeah. But nah, 444, it should be interesting tomorrow. Hopefully Sengun comes back. And hopefully we can get a good game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see
I'm
what
hoping
happens tomorrow.
You're gonna pick who you got if once you know if Shagun's coming back or not.
Well, yeah, if Sengun plays, I got Houston regardless. I think it's just hard to beat a team twice in a row. So I'm gonna take Houston. I think they'll make some adjustments. I heard Kevin Durant saying, you know, maybe he just needs to get out the way. So yeah, I think they'll make some adjustments, and yeah, we'll see how JJ counters with, because like I said, the doubling worked. I will give that to JJ yesterday. You know, that plan worked. So they just spammed the double team on Kevin Durant, and they were able to win that game. So we'll see what.
Is it gonna be?
You said what?
It's gonna be home. It's gonna be at Lakers or Houston.
No, they're in Houston again.
They're playing Houston twice.
Yeah, Houston twice in Houston. Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll make my prediction tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, 444. Good call, man.
All right, man. Later.
All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, shout out to 444. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to DC Rue, 444, Button Masher, Dudiverse. No Kwame today, folks. No Kwame today. I wonder why. No Kwame. Interesting. Very interesting. No Kwame today. Okay. Shout out to Mar. Appreciate you, man. He said keep going for another hour. Another hour is insane, dude. We got Brandon Katz. Oh shit, we got Brandon Katz in the chat. Give me 1 second. We gotta drop it for Brandon Katz. Pause. We gotta drop the Brandon Katz drop.
He averaged 4 points a game at USC, shot 36%. He doesn't have an NBA body, so you can't defend Bronny. So your little pussy ass hides behind race, and you call me racist because you can't make an argument based on the merits because you're a fucking clown.
Okay, so let's stop right there. Yeah, we got Brandon Katz. Yeah, we actually agree, Brandon. Yeah, Kevin Durant, I said it last night. He still has yet to figure out how to read defenses. You know, he's kind of like Luka, you know, good individual scorer, I guess. I would say Kevin Durant's obviously a far better, superior player. Far better superior scorer than Luka. You know, Kevin Durant can just flat out score. Luka basically just spams threes all game. You know, I don't really think Luka's a better scorer than Kevin Durant, but they basically play the same way. You know, they both know how to score individually, but when it comes to actually playing winning basketball, neither one of them have really figured out how to do that. So yeah, kind of the same kind of player to a certain extent. Obviously, Luka does, a little bit more in terms of, I guess, assisting the basketball, I guess. But, yeah, whatever. Same shit. Still haven't figured out how to win. Shout out to League Brema. But, yeah, folks. That's really all I got, man, on this particular topic, folks. We'll be back tomorrow, man. Like I said, you know, it's now or never, folks, for Puka and the Fakers, man. You know, as the years go on, OKC's only going to get better. You know, SGA is going to lock up his second MVP this season. He's clearly surpassed Luka. You know, Wemby's he's 5 years younger than Luka. He's already better than Luka. So Luka's getting lapped, folks, by guys that's younger than him. He's not improving, and this is why I keep trying to tell you guys, he's not improving. It's one thing to get numbers, we get it. He knows how to get his points, I remember I might have been in like the 5th grade. I was playing rec ball. I think our team was the Timberwolves. And I'm not going to lie, folks, I was the best player on the team. But you want to know what was funny, folks? We couldn't win a game. But I was the best player. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you score the points or whatever, but if you don't win the game, it doesn't matter, right? It's the same thing with Luka. It's like, yeah, you score a lot of points, but you don't win the game. So, obviously they're winning games now, but are they going to win in the playoffs? We don't know. You said that's a bad take. OKC can't pay everyone. After this year, they will have to let players go. Well, that'll be the case for everybody. That'll be the case for everybody, At the end of the day, their best player is still better than Luka, which is SGA. So, at the end of the day, Luka's getting lapped by his competition and by players younger than him. SGA is in the same draft class as Luka, and he's about to win his 2nd MVP. He's lapped Luka. And I remember last year, I tuned into Gil's Arena and they were making the argument, if both of them ended their career right now, Luka had the better career. Like, well, how about now? Once SGA wins another MVP, what are we going to say now, folks? Exactly. It's over, dude. You got to get better, bro. This dude said you are missing the key advantage LA has over OKC. LA can attract big name free agents. OKC cannot. So once again, you need somebody else to come and save you? Like, what the fuck? Niggas ass, man. So who are you banking on? Giannis? Luka needs Giannis to come save him, but I thought he was the best player in the sport. I mean, get the fuck out of here, dude. Fucking SGA got fucking Jalen Williams, and y'all need another superstar. SGA got Jalen Williams, but y'all need a whole damn superstar. I'm out, chat. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.